Town. I think that things are starting to take off here at the Cape Town Convention Center, where the 17th World Tobacco or Health Conference is currently underway. I think when we started broadcasting at about 7 o'clock this morning, it was very quiet and very dead, but I think the first plenary session is around 9 o'clock this morning, where they discuss a whole range of issues. They started yesterday and they'll go through today as well as tomorrow. But to tell us more about what the conference is all about and where it's going is Dr. Paula Fujiwara, who is the scientific director from the union. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Now, Doctor, you are one of the organizers. You work a lot with Bloomberg. But over and above that, what does the union do? You said you have a specific focus in Africa. Tell us more about that.
Yes, the union, we are a very proud organizer of this conference, which is, as you said, is the first time in Africa. And I think the theme is that we want a tobacco-free generation. And the union is very much involved in the sense that because of Bloomberg, we run a grants program. And for me, my heart is in Africa. I've worked here a long time, and I think the key is why Africa? This is the first time we're having this in Africa, and why? And the thing is that this is going to be the future for tobacco companies. This is where their new customers are coming from. And also, we're very privileged that we've had a youth conference this year. And this is, again, the youth is the future. And youth, if we can prevent them from smoking, that's going to be very, very key.
You spoke about a lot of things that I actually want to touch on. You know, your focus being Africa. Africa having one of the youngest populations in the world. What are you doing? What strategies do you have to focus on the youth as the tobacco industry focuses more on the youth, one, and in third world countries?
Well, as I said, this is the first time we're having a youth conference to actually sensitize youth about the dangers of using tobacco. So I think that's going to be very, very important. In addition, we want to educate. So the thing is that we want to develop the new generation of researchers in tobacco control. So I think that's going to be something that's going to be very, very important for the future.
Now, I know the conference only started yesterday and it continues today, but thus far, what new developments have we come up with?
I think the highlights of this conference so far, yesterday we were privileged to have the head of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros, your own Minister of Health, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, and the person who has really forged ahead with the tobacco control, Mr. Michael Bloomberg. And he has invested more than almost $1 billion in tobacco control, and some of this is on this continent. So I think that's having those powerful figures in the room was very, very important. And the other thing is, last night we had an award ceremony, and of the 6 awards that were given, 2 of them are in Africa, from Senegal and also from Uganda.
Now, Doctor, you speak about Mr. Bloomberg giving a lot of money to these initiatives to ensure that we have a tobacco-free world. But also there are people that actually work on the ground, you know, with the empowerment initiatives and education. But some of these people, especially in the African countries, face a lot of threats. How do you ensure that you work with them and continue that or continue working with them?
I think what's important to know is that when you have a conference like this, everybody in the world that's dealing with the topic is here. So people can learn from each other. And we have not only the lessons that are coming from Europe and the States and things, but also from Asia, but also Africa has lessons that can be taught. They're not just here to learn, but also to be taught. So I think that's a very important
Thank you very much for your time. Well, that was Dr. Paula Fujiwara, who is the scientific director from the union. They are one of the organizers here, but over and above that, they do a lot of work in Africa as well, which is a huge focus at the moment. As you know, that third world countries are actually lagging behind when it comes to tobacco control. So we'll be watching the story very closely for you here at the City ICC, and my colleagues will now take over and continue on Channel 404. For now, let's go to an ad break. Do come back.